But I'm concerned about that physicality up front. All right, I'm putting you guys on the spot. Duke, Purdue, Gonzaga, rank them. T.O., you're first.
Duke first. I like Purdue because of the matchup problems that they present in the same manner that Duke presented to Gonzaga. So I'm going to go Duke, Purdue, then Gonzaga. Let's keep in mind, guys, let's not go crazy here. If Gonzaga doesn't turn the ball over 17 times, they win. Because Duke, 23 points off turnovers? So, I mean, a lot of that stuff can be hidden if you don't turn the basketball over, and they turn it over a lot. Nimbard had 11 assists, but 6 turnovers. Timmy had 5 turnovers, very uncharacteristic. So
my question is, what's the score of that game if Duke does not turn over their Gatorade bucket and keep Paolo from being properly hydrated?
Dude, how about that? How are we going to do it? It's easy to get dehydrated in Vegas. I will say that. It's really easy to get dehydrated in Vegas, especially as dry as it is.
Oh man, like can we get these cramps figured out? Like we gotta get this dude on the court. We can't have every big game Paolo disappearing for 15 minutes in the second half.
I'm willing to chalk game 1 up. I'm willing to chalk that up to first game nerves, Madison Square Garden, the kids warming up a little too hard. I'm willing to chalk this one up to Las Vegas being the driest place on planet Earth besides the Dead Sea, and like you losing water without realizing you're losing water. So I'm going to chalk those up. If he starts cramping again, then I'm going to start to think about it a little bit more. But I Purdue, man, if they showed anything, they are elite. I think Duke 1, Purdue 2nd, Gonzaga 3rd, and Gonzaga can still win the national championship. I have no doubt in my mind.
Fanta?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gonzaga 1, Duke 2, and Purdue 3. I still think the Zags are the best team in the country. I think that they had a tougher night. I think that they had an uncharacteristic evening, and in college basketball, sometimes the best team loses. So they lost this game. They kicked the crap out of UCLA, and UCLA apparently had some illnesses. I don't care. Gonzaga exploited those, and they beat up Texas, a Texas team that has a new coach and still trying to figure out exactly who they are and could be a really good team. But the fact is, I look at the Zags and I see a team that has faced some top-tier exams and happened to not get an A on one of those exams. Like I thought that on a B- B night for Gonzaga overall, they still were right there. And Duke played A. They played at an A level. I am still going to lean with Gonzaga, and maybe for the sake of just being a little bit of a contrarian, I'll do that. But I still love this Zags team, and I think that Chet Holmgren in March is going to be very different than Chet Holmgren in November. I do think that he will grow and grow and grow. And Mark Few said it after the UCLA game. He said, Chet has this willingness to get better and be coachable, unlike other freshmen that I've had. That spoke to me. That spoke to me in a lot of ways. So, man, I do think that we would talk differently about Gonzaga. And again, if the queen had balls, she'd be the king. But had they not had the off night against and run into an absolute freaking buzzsaw in Baylor, and I feel bad that they haven't gotten that one national title. And I'm not saying you guys are saying this, but I think the country now, because of this loss, is going to say, I don't trust Gonzaga in the Final Four of the national championship game because they've never been able to do it. And I don't think you can always say that, because I think they can do it. I think it's just really hard to win that national championship. I'm still going to go with the Zags 1. I actually need to see a little bit more from Purdue on the defensive side of the basketball.
I agree with the issues with Purdue's defense. I think I would go Purdue 1A, Duke 1B. I think that Purdue's...
You can't do that.
Yeah,
I think it's 1A. I'm ranking Purdue ahead of Duke, but it's like by the finest.
Purdue's 1 and Duke's 2.
Yeah. Here's what I got to say.
What is this, participation day? Well, you get
Yes,
participation
yes. Everybody
trophies
gets-
for your
everyone's-
top three.
Hey, look, I'm going to go coach my first basketball team for 6-year-olds on Wednesday, right? Everybody's getting a trophy.
That's right. That's right.
I'm in a giving mood. It's a holiday spirit. We just put up our first Christmas tree. Like I just put up my Christmas lights on Sunday. Like I'm in a holiday mood, a holiday spirit. Everybody gets something, T.O.
Okay, fair enough.
Are you trying to not get Twitter comments or something? Because
All right, okay, whatever. So Purdue 1, Duke 2, whatever it is. I think they're very, very close, though. What I will say is this: I think Purdue has the bodies to be able to match up with Duke's size as well as anybody in the country. I'm a little bit worried about whether or not Caleb First would be able to deal with Paolo. I do think that it's,
let me answer that. He wouldn't.
no.
He
no
wouldn't.
one can. But here's the thing: I think that might be the one game where you're actually able to play Zach Edey and Trevion together, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
Mhm.
The big concern I would have in that matchup if they played each other, which, by the way, whoever was the schedule maker for the ACC Big Ten Challenge and decided to have number 1 Duke on the road, number 2 Purdue playing at home, and Duke not playing at Mackey this week, like that person's got to be fired, right? Like we got to get him up out of that job. Think about it, man. Like, look, Duke. That's what the narrative is in college basketball right now. Is it Duke number 1 or is it Purdue number 1? And we could have number 1 playing at number 2 tonight, but somebody decided that Duke needs to go to Ohio State. And somebody else decided that Purdue needed to get a visit from Florida State. Can we flex that? Is it too late to switch that?
Man, I will say this: that Purdue Florida State is going to be fun to watch. I think Purdue's going to end up getting them, but talk about size on both sides of the
actually
ball.
leads to my point that I was going to make about Duke is with that matchup, Duke can switch everything and they can take you out of what you want to run. Like when the throwback Duke teams, what they do best is they get out and press you. They overplay passing lanes. They don't let you run your stuff, and they basically dare you to beat them one-on-one. And I don't know if Purdue has enough dudes to be able to do that. I know they have one dude that can do that, and his name is Jaden Ivey. I know they have another dude that if you just want to go 4 out and throw the ball into Zach Edey, as good as Mark Williams is, like Zach Edey's a monster, bro. Like that dude. That dude is something else. It's amazing when you see him in person and see him go up against other enormous human beings like Armando Bacot, who basically looks like
Morphed him.
Yeah, it looks like my son standing next to me. It's incredible how large that man is and how well he can move for somebody that is 7'4" and 290 pounds or whatever he is.
Let's not forget Trevion Williams. If he gets that ball at about 15 feet, there's not a lot of people that can guard him out there either.
No.
And for a Duke team that needs somebody, or if you're going to play against a Duke team that you're going to have to create something on your own because they're going to get out in the passing lanes because they're playing like they used to, not like they have the last 5 or 6 years. Like if he's able to get it at about 15 feet, he's a tough cover too, man. Like Purdue's good. They're really, really good.
Yeah, and he could pass out of the post too. Like if you send a double at Trevion, you're going to be dead. Purdue's going to get a wide open 3.